said, to make it more simplistic, the math is the math. I know that K-State is a 7-point underdog this week. I know that Minnesota is a 6.5-point underdog this week. And we can look and say, wow, there's a point of value there. There's a couple points of value here. But when I'm looking for those underdogs and went outright, I'm looking at those situations. I'm looking for those trends and angles. I'm looking for those coaching edges. So I know you and I are similar, so I'll let you pick it up from there.
You know, nothing. You have to have math. Don't get me wrong. You always have to have math. But these guys are not machines. Remember that. They're going to go through ups and downs. I always say when you have stats, that's an average of what everything has happened during the season. But stats don't live and breathe like people that play the games do, all right?
Or horses that run around the track.
Yeah, exactly. They have ups and downs, and you got to try to find where they're at. Now, for me, the tip that I'm bringing for you guys today, it is situational handicapping, but we talk about the football season. For me, I break the football season up into 3 different segments. You've got September, you've got October, and you've got November. It's 3 different handicaps. September, you have all of those mismatches because teams play cupcakes out of conference, and you got to be careful when you're using the math only because the math is going to be skewed to the powerhouses because they played the little sisters of the poor.
You're right. We also know that the bookmakers are going to skew certain, especially in college, certain public perceptions, certain public teams, the Notre Dames, the Texases, the Alabamas, the Clemsons of the world.
Absolutely. When you get to October, to me, I say October is the purest month of the season. Everybody's just into their conference schedule. Maybe they had 1 game in September, but you're in the meat of your conference schedule, and everybody's live. Nobody's eliminated from bowl contention because you're not eliminated till you get that 7th win. So everybody still has something to play for, and you're playing at 100%. Now, when we get to November, it presents different issues. One of those issues is a team that's tossed the towel, okay? If you've got that 7th loss and you've got nothing to play for, a lot of times you're going to see teams mailing it in, except November's also rivalry month. You always have
homecoming, you always have to think about that as well.
Homecoming, Thanksgiving, you get the rivalry games, you know, the Virginia Techs, you know, Georgia Tech, Georgia, those are huge, okay? I grew up in Pittsburgh. There was nothing better than a backyard brawl between Pitt and West Virginia. No matter what the records are, you could throw the stats out. I make a joke every year when we get to rivalry week. My stats are put away for the season, okay, because they mean nothing on rivalry week, especially when one of the rivalry teams is done and not going to a bowl game, but the other one is either trying to get that 6th win or trying to win the division. Then there's even added more incentive to try to be the spoiler. So you have to handicap differently at different parts of the season and be aware of those things because people say, wow, that team didn't even show up today. Well, no shit. Last week they got their 7th loss, and they got nothing to play for till they play their rival at the end of the season.
Half of them are hurt, and there's just not a lot left to play for.
So those are some tips that I give you guys when you're looking in November.
So, VR, I know you do your own power ratings, you do your own handicapping, but you're part of a really larger group, a syndicate that you get to get that almost a behind-the-counter look because you do have access to all those accounts. So talk to me about some handicapping tips.
And for me, that's the hardest and easiest part, meaning getting access to good information is very difficult. And more importantly, once you get access to that good information, how to use it and can you use it? Because again, once the value is extracted from the betting line, piggybacking sharp moves offers you nothing. Like you're
we call it steam chaser, right? Like
exactly.
You sit there and you look on the Don Best screen and everything gets popped and you're late to the party.
And you'll end up going broke doing that. Chasing steam's one of the worst things you could possibly do, honestly. It's better off to pass when the numbers move that significantly than taking the worst of it. And I think that's what I want to touch on, that too many bettors are willing to take the worst of it. And when they win, they chalk it up more to great handicapping than just getting lucky. And I see it all the time with, especially now with the internet and everybody putting out their bets online and everyone's a handicapper, everyone's a winning bettor. And they're still willing to take these bets even after lines move significantly, meaning they like this side at -6, and even if it goes to 7.5, they still like that side. You got to stop and ask yourself, where is the value when a line moves like that? Like, how off are they? the line's not going to be 6-7 points off where it should be.
And we are going to see that now that we're into college basketball season. I saw
significantly.
Day one yesterday, I got a text about Siena. It was -2. I played it at -2. Somebody played it offshore, and it was 4, 4.5.
5, 6.
And it didn't come into play. It didn't matter. Siena blew them off the court. But you're right. If you're now playing it at 6, when it was 2.
That's what I'm saying. It's no longer a good bet.
But it did cash, so that's right.
That's the problem.
Yep.
That is, when you keep doing the wrong thing and it works out, like it's just a matter of time before it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like you're just having some good luck with a Siena if you laid 6, but that habit, you're a mathematical certainty to lose your money. If you're laying 6 when the line opened 2, you're not going to make money betting sports like that. And for me, I think that's one of the most important things. And is being honest. What are you doing it for? Recreation, or are you doing it as an investment? If you're doing it as an investment, you need to protect your money. If you're doing it for entertainment, then it doesn't matter.
Well, I think you said it in the last segment, and you really hit on it. I think it made the most sense that you trying to find your Steam game of the week is most important, because where does value still lie and where does it not?
And then for you, now we've seen in the last couple of years with the sophisticated syndicates, when you're looking at the screen, for the average person,
it's lighting up like a damn Christmas tree.
Yeah, but how many of them are head fakes?
So many.
You know, where they're setting something up,
There's so much.
Where you're jumping on it, and that's what they wanted you to do, follow along, be that chaser, and then they're coming back. So you have to learn the patterns, and you being able to actually see who is doing the betting.
It took 30 years. Honestly,
betting.
the first 20, I was the guy being suckered into moving that line for them. I didn't know. Until you move up that food chain and get big enough accounts and get down enough money, you're that guy that they're using to lay the wrong side with. You know what I mean? And it's just something you had to go through. And like what you said was the best about surrounding yourself with sharp people. And that's where I credit all my success. I try to make sure, and it's not very hard, but I try to make sure I'm the dumbest guy in the room.
There you go.
I always want to be the dumbest guy in the room.
That makes sense.
Seriously. I never want to be the smartest guy in the room. You have nothing to learn there. I like to surround myself with smart people, sharp people. And that's, wherever I'm weak, find people that are strong. And I'm pretty weak in a lot of things.
I don't want to be the dumbest guy in the room, but I want to be surrounded by some smart people.
I'm in complete agreement. You're going to only learn from those scenarios. Speaking of learning, appreciate you guys hanging out for our educational segment, but I do think it is important, and it is our job to educate people.
I love it. I love talking about that stuff.
And I think it's really important, especially with so many new people into the space, but we only got a few minutes left, so I'm going to kick it off with best bets. Marco, you're up first because you got to redeem yourself.
I got to redeem myself, and Kelly, man, Twitter is going to go crazy this week because I think me and you is going to do a little bit of battling.
Are we?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm going with the Texas Longhorns here, and I'm sorry. You might have a little more inside information being there, but I'm just going to put it out there. Kansas State players can't get it up 3 weeks in a row. I'm sorry. I'm putting it out there.
Wow.
And, give
You're
Chris Kleiman
hilarious.
all the credit in the world. You upset Oklahoma, and then you come back. Now, it was an easy sell to get your team motivated because it's your arch rival. So let's not give him too much credit. Now, if he can get them to deliver for the 3rd week in a row, you guys got one hell of a coach. I think you do have one hell of a coach, but this is going to be a tough sell. Get this team pumped up. Yes, it's Texas. I know that. But in the 3 games they just played, Texas is the least important of those 3 games. They beat undefeated Oklahoma, who's, the big daddy of the conference year in and year out. You beat your rival the week after that. I'm sorry, I don't know how you get prepped for Texas. Texas has had 2 weeks to prepare for you. We know Herman's, he's better as a dog, but I like him in a situation with the extra week to prepare and the situation that Kansas State is in. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to take Texas, going to lay the points. I got them winning 31-20, and I have a feeling that Kelly and I will have some texts going back and forth on Saturday.
I would normally go to VR here, but I feel like it's only fitting. You're right.
You guys knock it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Mine's going to be 8 seconds.
Here. Listen, I am going to take K-State here. Why?
I'm enjoying this. Go ahead.
Because at 7, I think that this is just downright disrespectful. This is Tom Herman.
It really is.
who is, again, you said it, great as an underdog. 8-19 in his last 27 as a favorite. K-State last week, I got a text. No Gilbert. VR's got to get an iPhone because he wasn't on that thread. Sorry, VR. No Gilbert,
They're
no
for rich
Brown.
people.
Yeah, right? And so if you don't have an iPhone, I can't put you in a group text. But I said, hey, these two K-State running backs are going to be out. My buddy Caleb's a big KU fan. I also sent him the same text. He texted me in the middle of the third quarter. Hell, because he's from Kansas, so he talks like that, and he lives in Texas. Hell, you guys don't need a running back. You got Skylar Thompson. Fair enough. We actually probably don't, but it does look like Gilbert and Brown are going to be both back for this game. The same reason why I liked Minnesota is just that old adage, take the better defense plus the points here. This is a K-State team that I hate. Taking points with a ranked team. I hate that. It's like, I feel like it's the biggest trap game on the board, but at 7, they're baiting me. Call me a homer. If they win outright, you guys will be like, you're a genius. If they lose by field goal, you're a genius. But right now I'm looking at it going, K-State has owned this Texas team. They have absolutely owned them for historically, yes, they've lost the last 3, but they've been in that dogfight every single game. This is a K-State team that already was ranked in the top 25 last time around and walked into Oklahoma State. Stillwater got smacked in the mouth, got brought back down to earth. I don't think that happens twice in a year. All right, VR, tell me what your best bet is. You got about 45 seconds.
Mine will be quick and real fast because we're being accused of not sharing our premium bets on the show and saving them for paid customers. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's just sometimes by Wednesday, I haven't bet anything. I haven't released anything. This week I did. I released a play, so I'm going to share it with you as my best bet, and that's LSU. I got +7. You could take it +6.5. That's more than enough. I sit back, maybe we'll get a 7. I like LSU. The Tua, not 100%. The backups, it's about a 7-point drop-off. Tua's going to play, obviously. But again, at not 100%, I'm going to go with LSU.
I have to ask, is it worth a sprinkle?
Oh, double-fisted sprinkle. LSU can win this game.
All right, guys, we're going to step out for a quick break. When we return, it's our final thoughts on this week's action. It's time for the show recap. Guess we're going to keep it in the segment. Marco liked it. Did you know every Tuesday is $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk.com? We pick the hottest handicapper and offer his best bet for just $2. This is a great way to introduce yourself to the winning handicappers at WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. So we got lots of good feedback from the recap section. Marco wasn't mad because you guys didn't just scroll ahead and just see the recap. Not that it really matters anyway. Listen, we're all about the views.
Smash that like button.
Exactly. Smash, share, retweet, help us out, guys. We really appreciate it. 70,000 people have been watching the Bet On It show.
I don't do shows with less than 100, so we need more people.
Okay, well, here we are. So now we
Tell your friends, or next week we will not be here.
There we go. Okay, great. Well, either way, I think I still have to be here. I'm sure that's somewhere in my contract. But VR, he's a big important UFC guy. He doesn't have to be here. Okay, guys, let's run through kind of the recap where we are. So TV games. Marco likes the over in the LSU game. VR likes LSU. I don't really have a big opinion in this game, guys. I wish I did. But we all do share an opinion, which was USC last week. Not so good. Marco threw in the universe that we were going to lose by 3 touchdowns. Instead, we lost by 5. So we're all cheering for Minnesota and OU here. Those are the sides that we agree on. Next up, we've got Steam and Barking Dogs, Utah State from Marco, which I am in agreement with. I do like that one. VR also really like his Virginia Tech play, and to play off of kind of what I spoke about in the first segment, second segment, I do like this Minnesota team.
That's a nice 3-teamer right there.
Ooh, maybe that's like they'll be the formerly known as a hottie threesome this week. And last up, we've got some best bets. You guys have any last words you'd like to say about your best bets? I know Marco and I are head-to-head here. And VR
let the
likes
audience
LSU.
know, because there's going to be somebody, I guarantee, that's going to tweet at the two of us and say, oh, you're going opposite, so one of you have a winner. I didn't know who you had come till we sat down.
Well, we never knew.
Yeah.
We never know. We don't talk about it. We sit here literally right before the segment. We gave the woman that does our graphics our plays over the microphone. You knew because I was writing down because I was in between 2 games. So you knew right before you gave out your best bet that we're going to go head-to-head. It's just one of those things that's going to happen. You and your buddy at the bar on Saturdays are going to be opposite on some games. You're going to get different intel. You're going to look at the numbers differently. to be honest with you, I told VR this. I made Texas -2.5. Maybe I need to pump the brakes on K-State, or maybe I'm a goddamn genius. Okay, we're going to find out on Saturday morning.
I know there'll be texts going back and forth between me.
Oh, there always will be. Maybe Marco will be at the poker room at Caesars, and I can just like throw things at him from the sportsbook. And oh, how could I forget? Sorry, guys. The Steam game of the week from VR is Texas. Sandwich game from Marco is Texas Tech. Sorry, I got so excited about best bets, I forgot to list out the important winners. You guys have been doing so well on all those, and we really appreciate you guys. I mentioned subscribe, like, give us thumbs up, retweet us. Again, we hope you guys enjoyed tonight's college edition is Bet on It. Thank you guys for tuning in.